I often get asked this question. Between alcohol, smoking, lack of sleep, and lack of exercise, which is the worst? I don't exercise, I can't sleep well, I do both alcohol and cigarettes. Among these, I want to know the worst one, just one. So I really tell them the order. Welcome back to our channel. Today, I want to discuss the effects that some of our common habits for stress relief and relaxation have on our sexual health. When we think about what we most often do to relax, some people might exercise or read books, but realistically, for many men in their 30s and 40s, the first things that come to mind are alcohol and cigarettes. Some say they experience erection difficulties after drinking alcohol, and many say the same about smoking for a long time. So let's first discuss why drinking alcohol can make it difficult to get an erection. If you are usually fine but have trouble getting an erection after drinking, it's because of the nerves. Alcohol has the characteristic of hindering nerve conduction. Think about a drunk person. They can't even roll their tongue properly inside their mouth, leading to slurred speech. Some can't walk straight. Their bodies slump and their eyelids get heavy, making it hard to keep their eyes open. Alcohol, which interferes with nerve conduction, isn't going to leave the nerves leading to the penis alone. It inhibits the conduction of the nerves responsible for erections by suppressing the parasympathetic nervous system, which is what sends the erection signals, hence hindering erections. The more you drink, the stronger this effect, so a small amount may not show significant symptoms. But as you drink more enthusiastically, it can lead to a state of complete erectile dysfunction. Drinking alcohol also increases your heart rate and can reveal hidden arrhythmias. A research team during a large German beer festival took drunk passers-by and measured their ECGs, finding that their hearts were beating much faster than expected and that a significant number of people had severe arrhythmias that made the researchers wonder if they should be immediately taken to a hospital. However, many people say that drinking is a form of relaxation. I've noticed something peculiar when I drink alcohol. Those of us with smartwatches check various metrics, right? I found that whenever I drink, my stress levels as measured by the smartwatch skyrocket even though I'm asleep. You'd think that sleep is restful and shouldn't be stressful. However, my data shows that from the moment I fall asleep around midnight until about 4 a.m., when the alcohol starts to wear off, my stress levels are exceptionally high. This puzzled me because I was asleep, yet the watch indicated I was stressed. This led me to look into what the watch measures for stress, which turned out to be heart rate variability, HRV. HRV is a bit of a complex concept, but understanding it can be very useful. It measures how irregularly your heart beats, and contrary to what you might think, a higher HRV is a good thing as it indicates your heart is relaxed, while a lower HRV suggests your heart is under stress. If you think about it, needing your heart to beat precisely means it's working hard, which isn't ideal. A high HRV indicates a relaxed state of the heart, usually during parasympathetic nervous system activity. But when you drink a lot of alcohol, your HRV drops, which is a clear sign that your heart is under stress. This is the opposite of relaxation. It's as if your sympathetic nervous system is activated, and if this state continues, it's naturally going to be hard to get an erection with both nerve conduction being inhibited and the sympathetic nervous system being stimulated. Next, let's talk about smoking, which is somewhat similar to alcohol. Think about what happens when you smoke. Your blood pressure rises and your heart rate increases because your blood vessels constrict, and these effects are immediate upon smoking. Increased heart rate and blood pressure remind you of something. That's the sympathetic nervous system. When people say smoking is harmful to your body, some argue that smoking makes them feel relaxed and must be a form of rest. I remember feeling that way when I used to smoke, but that's not really the rest. It's the relief you feel when your body, which had been uncomfortable due to a lack of nicotine, returns to normal. This relief is very temporary and does not benefit your body or constitute rest. Additionally, smoking is proven not to be restful because studies have shown that cortisol, a hormone that increases with stress, rises after smoking. This hormone spikes when we're stressed. which in turn stimulates the sympathetic nervous system. So, smoking, while it may give a momentary feeling of relaxation, actually puts a sympathetic nervous system load on our bodies. This is a common conclusion with both smoking and drinking. They increase the sympathetic nervous system's activity. Moreover, cigarettes, as mentioned, constrict blood vessels. Erections happen when blood vessels relax and expand, but smoking does the exact opposite, making erections difficult. This is why smoking is a nemesis to erections. It's relatively easy to get someone to start exercising, but getting someone to quit smoking is incredibly hard. Many men say they can do everything but give up smoking. However, a surefire way to disarm these men is to show them the results of a sperm test, which typically shows reduced sperm count, deformed sperm, and reduced mobility in smokers, facts not widely known. Sleep deprivation also causes erectile dysfunction. When we're short on sleep, how do we end up? Irritable, right? Working while tired makes us cranky. And when we're cranky, we become even more sensitive. What happens then? Stress increases. Work doesn't go well and we end up lashing out, earning more criticism, which makes us angry. And what's the result? Naturally, our sympathetic nervous system kicks in. So, people who are chronically short on sleep are always sensitive, irritable, and live in a constant state of tension. As a result, the tone of the sympathetic nervous system significantly increases and, of course, sexual function takes a hit. Sometimes when I'm mumbling these explanations to my patients, some of them will ask, between alcohol, smoking, lack of sleep, and not exercising, which is the worst? I don't exercise, I don't sleep well, and I do both alcohol and cigarettes. If I wanted to stop one, which one should it be? Then I really give them the order. If you ask me what has the most significant impact on erectile dysfunction among these, I confidently say it's lack of sleep. Among the patients who come to the clinic for erectile dysfunction, some are in excellent physical shape. It's not uncommon. Being in good shape doesn't necessarily mean you'll have good erections. It's not like if you're physically fit, everything works perfectly. But if such people come to the clinic and all sit there, it means they exercise, right? But why do they have trouble getting erections? When I talk in detail with these people, I've often found that those who work shifts are particularly affected. Factory production workers, emergency room staff, emergency responders, firefighters, their working hours always change. This month it's the morning, next month it's the afternoon, and then it's night shifts rotating in this pattern. Their semen quality really suffers. Even with medication, it's tough. Their sperm quality also deteriorates significantly. Beyond just erectile function, their fertility is severely compromised. So many people nowadays don't sleep well, right? The first thing these people should try to do about their erectile dysfunction is to make an effort to sleep well. The second is smoking. Smoking ranks second. Smoking not only increases tension but also accelerates the heart rate and stimulates the sympathetic nervous system. But the most crucial factor is its action of constricting blood vessels. Because it interferes with the action of relaxing the vessels, it makes it impossible for an erection to occur properly. When people who smoke complain about not understanding why they have erectile dysfunction at their age, it's frustrating. Especially those who take erectile dysfunction medication while continuing to smoke, it's really exasperating. Because if there wasn't medication for erectile dysfunction, they might quit smoking to improve their erections. But seeing them continue to smoke and take medication for erectile dysfunction makes me, as someone who has quit smoking, feel quite sorry. The rest are lack of exercise and alcohol. But alcohol is a bit tricky because the amount varies from person to person. If the amount of alcohol is moderate, I say lack of exercise is worse than alcohol. Producing male hormones, making our body's blood vessels function correctly, expanding the blood vessels. All of these are greatly activated by exercise. So, I rank lack of exercise as the third worst. I want you to manage stress more wisely by running. I encourage you to try running. I hope you give it a try, and I'll return with more valuable information in the fourth episode. Thank you.